Not abiding by the rules when taking your dogs to the beach can result into a $500 fine from the city, says Purdom from Red Chicago, as well as an unnecessary vet bill. No one wants to pay extra bills when having fun. So when reading all these articles, I found that you can do a couple of things just to keep your money in your pocket and have fun at the beach. Today I'll be informing you on what to do and not to do when bringing your dogs to the beach by going over what to bring, how long to stay, and what not to do. These tips are helpful to the audience because they have a ton of dogs and they have access to dog beaches. Keeping your dog safe and your money in your pocket is the best way to have fun at the beach. I chose this topic because I frequently take my dogs to the beach, and I have done research and tried to figure out how are the best ways to bring them and how to keep them safe while doing it. By no means am I an expert at it, but I feel like by reading these articles and learning more about it, I have a little knowledge that I'd like to share. Prior to learning how your dog is telling you when it's time to go, we will review how you should pack before leaving the house. First, we'll start by going through a list of what you should bring. When bringing your dogs to the beach, there are essentials to making it the most fun that it can be. According to Red Eye Chicago, you should bring a leash for your dog, and you should always have their name, your name, and your number just in case they get lost. You should bring a non-retractable leash because the sand and the water tend to get into the leash and they get stuck easily. You should always bring a leash because you should always be prepared for the other dogs that are there, and you just don't know how your dogs are going to react the first time you take them, so it's always safer to have one. There's also laws that on some beaches that you actually have to have your dog on a leash. Pet 360 requests that you bring towels to clean off your dog and to give your dog water while you're there so they don't drink the salt water and make them sick. You should bring them an umbrella or shade just to get them out of the heat so they don't overheat. And you should always bring something like a pooper scooper or something to pick up after your pets. When planning your trip, you should always pay attention to your dog's body language. You should watch how they react and what their body mannerisms are. They will tell you when they need to leave the beach by the way that they are acting. They can be overheated by the sun, or they can have hypothermia from the water being too cold. If your dog is panting and has a red tongue and is just acting really hot, then your dog is suffering from a heat stroke. And you should give your pet water and take it to the shade. If it doesn't fix itself, you should take your pet to the nearest dog vet, says Trips with Pets. If your dog is weak and shivering and is having difficulty breathing, then your dog is suffering from hypothermia, and you should wrap your dog in towels and warm water with the sun and put it on their back. If that doesn't work, you should also take them to the vet. If your dog's exhausted, then clearly you should just take them home, and don't overdo it because your pet will tell you when it's time to leave. Lastly, when planning your trip and having fun at the beach, you should always remember what not to do. While there are so many things that you can do to have fun, we should always remember the don'ts of the beach. Trips with Pets gives us a great list to follow by when remembering the don'ts of the beach. Don't let your dogs play in the dunes or the grassy areas because those are protected for a purpose. They are meant to protect the wildlife and the animals that live there. Don't let your dog go unsupervised because they cannot hear you as well as they can at home because of the crashing waves, and they're less likely to listen when they're excited. Don't force your dog into the water because if your dog doesn't like the water and it can't swim, it's probably not going to go very well, and they're probably just going to be afraid of the beach. Don't forget to pack the items like your leash, your fresh water, and an umbrella and doggy bags. Don't forget to pick up after your pet's poop because no one wants to step on that or find that when they're digging in the sand. You can also get fines for that, so be mindful of that. Now that we've made a list of what to bring and learned how to watch our pet's body language and learn what not to do, hopefully we can all have a successful time and fun day at the beach. To conclude, taking your dogs from the beach can be a real treat for both you and your pet. You can make the most of your time at the beach by knowing what to pack, knowing when to leave, and knowing what not to do. By learning all of these things, your trip at the beach can be fun and hassle-free. Knowing what to do can ensure many beach trips in the future. Yay.